Hello everyone, welcome to Druv Online Academy. In this 30-day revision series, today we can revise part 2 of Logical Reasoning Unit. We can see the types of Pramana. What is Pramana? Pramana is the means of knowledge. How do we get to know? By what means we acquire new knowledge? There are different types to it, and in this video we will see one by one. First type of Pramana is Pratyaksha. Here, the knowledge is gained through perception. So, this perception can be through our sensory organs or mind. Then, Anumana. Here, it is based on inference, based on what we know already. A classic example for this type of Pramana is, we say, wherever there is smoke, there is fire. So, with the help of smoke, we are able to infer the presence of fire. For the same example of this fire, if we directly see the fire through our own eyes and get to know about it, then it is Pratyaksha Pramana because there the direct perception happens. Third is Upamana. Here the knowledge is gained through comparison and similarity of two different things. To understand an unknown thing or an unknown object, we associate it with something that is already known and similar to that unknown object. For example, if I don't know what a stylus is and my friend comes and explains that a stylus is like a pen but it has a rubber tip so that it can be used to write on digital devices. Here, I try to know what a stylus is by comparing it with a pen which has similar features. Then, Arthapatti. This is based on implications. We get knowledge by understanding the implied meaning. What does it imply? What does it convey? So we derive this meaning from the circumstances. For example, a person who has visible stitches on hands must have undergone a surgery. That is the possible implication we could derive out of the given circumstances. So that is an example of Arthapatti Pramana. Next, Anupalabdhi. Knowledge of non-existence of something is known as Anupalabdhi. Knowledge of non-existence is based on non-perception. For example, if I say there is no water in the well, this knowledge of non-existence comes from the non-perception. I cannot see any water in the well. So I can safely conclude that there is no water in the well. Next is Shabda. This is verbal testimony. We gain knowledge through passed on information from reliable sources. And this information could be in the form of spoken words or written text. Now, to sum up all the examples that we saw for the different types of Pramana, Pratyaksha is directly perceiving. We see the fire and that is Pratyaksha Pramana. Whereas, if we infer fire through the smoke, that is Anumana Pramana. And then Upamana, we saw the example of a stylus and a pen. How we get to know about a stylus by using something that we already know, which is a pen. And that pen is also similar to stylus. If the person has visible stitch marks, then surgery could be the only possible explanation for that. We make implications based on the circumstances in Arthapatti. Then in Anupalabdhi, we cannot see any water in the well. So we can safely conclude that there is no water in the well. That knowledge of non-existence comes from non-perception. Then finally, Shabda, which is verbal testimony, and scriptures are examples for Shabda Pramana. Now we'll revise the previous year questions. First question, consider the example provided below. There is no jar now on the ground. Identify the means of knowledge, that is, which Pramana is involved in this example. Here, this statement is about knowledge of non-existence. So, it comes under Anupalabdhi Pramana. Option A is the right answer. Second question, consider the example given below. Devadatta is growing fat. He does not eat food during the day. Therefore, he must be eating food during the night. Other things being equal. Identify the logic involved. Okay. Here, we are making implications based on the circumstances. If a person has to grow fat, then he must be eating during some time of the day. If he is not eating during the day, probably he eats during the night. So that's how we make implications based on the given circumstances. So the logic involved in this statement is option A, Arthapatti. That is the right option. Third question, the knowledge of the relation between name and an object denoted by that name is called option A, verbal testimony, B, inference, C, implication, and D, comparison. Option D, comparison is the right answer. Fourth question, consider the example given below. This Gavaya is like my cow. This is an example of which Pramana? The word like indicates similarity, and we compare the things that are similar and we understand based on that. So the logic involved, the Pramana involved is option D, comparison. That's for today. Hope this helps you. Please do subscribe to Druv Online Academy and watch the other videos in this 30-day revision series. Thank you.